Welcome, artists, and art appreciators, to Art of Lore. I'm Regina, and this is a video that is the first in a whole series of videos where I 3D model new and fun toys throughout December. My 12 days in the toy workshop series, I guess. Name in progress. I'll be doing replicas like this one, which is based off of My Little Pony hat, more on that later, but also multi-part objects, some fan art, original art, all sorts of stuff, and I'll be posting a video every other day until Christmas Eve. Obviously, this is inspired by the 12 Days of Christmas, and also the 12 Days of Craftsmas, that was Delightful series from last year, so she inspired me in making this. But it also won't be explicitly Christmas themed, because not everyone celebrates Christmas. So instead, this is focused on the one thing that everyone who views my channel probably enjoys, which is toys. I'll also be posting most of these 3D models to my Cults 3D page when the videos go up. Supporters on Ko-fi will already have access to these and more models just for the price of like a monthly membership, as well as early access to new and complex and more experimental 3D models. I don't have a 3D printer still, so getting things printed is kind of a lengthy process, but I have put some more experimental things for people to try out and give me feedback on so that I can kind of get a feel for what I need to change and everything. So basically, I just wanted to experiment with sculpting a variety of like toys and miniatures. I've been thinking about this for a while. I really love 3D modeling, and I just decided that this was a good way to try and do all sorts of things that I haven't done before. So this video is a simple, basic replica video, essentially, of a hat, and this hat is from Slugger. He is one of the Big Brother ponies from 1986. The Big Brother ponies were a group of boy ponies, as their name would imply, and pretty much all of the other My Little Ponies in the first generation, in like the TV show and the toy line, were girl ponies. I mean, like, they had little back cards, which had she, her pronouns, and in the TV show, they were all voiced by girls, and were girls. And the Big Brother ponies were introduced both in the toy line and in the TV show, and they're called Big Brothers, but they're implied to not be literally the brothers of all the ponies. So I think of it more as like it's like a casual, like, brothers as in like one of those like cultural terms that's more like referring to just people that you're close with, or maybe they're brothers of just some of them, some of the ponies, because it's kind of implied like a romantic relationship between some of the ponies. Anyways, regardless, the Big Brother ponies came with special accessories. I mean, they're brushes, of course. All of the My Little Ponies came with brushes because brushing their hair was very important. And they also came with hats. They also came with bandanas, like little cloth bandanas. But they came with little hats. And the one named Slugger, the My Little Pony Slugger, came with a little baseball cap. And basically all of these hats get lost very frequently, like any child's accessory. So a lot of people don't have the hats that match their ponies and spend a lot of time looking for them, essentially. And I just wanted to provide an option for people who, like, don't necessarily want the original hat, because basically, usually what happens is if you can't find the hat with the pony, you're not going to find it on its own. It's just, they're too easy to, like, for people to completely, like, lose them, and I'm sure parents eventually throw them away if they don't know what they are. So yes, these little pieces, I just decided that I would try to do some sort of replica of one for people who are interested. I did decide to do my replica, make it more detailed than the original. This is just add my own touch, so we're gonna be adding a little bit more detail around the hat than the original, which was just kind of like this simple plastic piece, which was very smooth and had letters, like, stamped on in ink. I did want to tell you guys a little bit more about this pony because I think he's so funny. Slugger is a pink pony whose theme is baseball. All of the Big Brother ponies are very stereotypically boy themed. So, like, one's football, one's trains, one's baseball. Yeah, very stereotypical. They were, like, advertised for little girls so they could have their, like, silly Big Brother character, because at the time, My Little Pony's advertising was based on the idea that you wanted to have a herd of your ponies. You wanted to have, like, a whole bunch of them, and they were, like, a family in theory. But they didn't have so many boy ponies. So basically, these Big Brother ponies were there to sort of fill in that role. They did eventually make, like, daddy ponies. But I guess, I wonder if, because, like, Barbie has Ken, but I feel like with the Big Brother ponies, maybe they felt like little girls wouldn't, I mean, like, they do have, like, wedding ponies, so I feel like little girls like weddings, but maybe they don't, you know, they're not as interested in marriage itself. It's just that weddings come with, like, a dress and stuff. So, I don't know, I just think it's really interesting that they went for, like, a Big Brother first, kind of before focusing on, this was, like, either at the same time or parallel with them introducing, like, a bride pony that had a husband, because previous to that, they had a bride pony who was just by herself. And then later on, I think they made a pony called Satin and Lace who has, like, a husband character. But the first bride ponies just didn't have a male, and they hadn't made the Big Brother ponies, so they were just like, here's a lady pony. I don't know, it's just the machinations of the My Little Pony brand at the time are very funny to me. These videos will probably contain a lot of me rambling about the thing that I'm making, by the way. That's just kind of my style, and all of these 3D models are just going to be inspired by things that I like, so I'm going to talk about things that I like, and I hope you like that too. I'm putting my thumbs up, but you can't see me, so I don't know why I'm doing that. So for this hat, as you can see, I added in all the details, like the little lines around the cap. I had to reference actual baseball caps, the original, entirely smooth, and I wanted to make that little, like, emblem and make it look like it was actually, like, a embroidered on patch on the top of the hat. And I actually ended up making two versions, one with the emblem that says MLP, and one without it, just in case ever anybody wants a generic hat. I will say, I guess the only issue I had with making this is that I'm not sure how perfectly it's going to fit on the Big Brother pony. Because I don't have a Big Brother pony. I don't have Slugger. I don't have Quarterback or Tex or any of the other Big Brother ponies where I could have, like, looked at their proportions. I have, like, normal, the girl My Little Ponies, the standard My Little Pony, but the Big Brother ponies are, like, a little bit taller and a little bit larger overall than the, like, normal size of the My Little Ponies. Plus, I mean, I can't, like I said, 3D print them. So the only problem with this model is that the ears might not be in the exact right spot, or more likely it'll just be too small or too big for the pony. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to post this one for free, or at least for, like, open pricing, and people can buy it for free and test it for themselves. I like to do that with my models where I know that there might be some sort of issue because of sizing like that. I was really hesitant with pricing my models in general early on, with my Takara video that did pretty well. People were saying, oh, you should, like, post the files for real money, and I didn't feel comfortable with that because, like, it wasn't completely tested, but as I learned more about formatting and stuff like that, I post some models for money and then other ones for free, depending on how, you know, confident I am that they're perfectly fine. And now I've had models printed at the library, I know how to test them. So I've learned so much in the time since I made, like, my first 3D print videos and stuff like that. It's wild. You guys are going to hear a lot more about that in the future videos. That's the thing about this hat. I hope that if it gets printed and it's a little too small for Slugger, then whoever prints it can use it for one of like the girl ponies, because like I said, their heads are like a little bit smaller. I will say, like, the hats on the Big Brother ponies, they don't always seem to fit that well anyways. It could just be the pictures that I always see, but like it often seems like the hats are a little bit oddly tilted, so I don't know. It's just like that. So here are my two 3D models in Cura. This is a 3D printing program. Obviously I don't have a printer, but, you know, like I said previously, but I use the settings for the printer at my library and I just test to see if it will slice. You can see I'm sizing it up and down, so you can easily do that in that program. And then I just see that it looks like it will print well, and whether or not it will need supports, because I'll just note that in the description. This one could probably print without supports, although at the top it might get a little bit messier, underneath. But I tried to make it so that it can print with as minimal supports as possible. I usually try to do that just to save on like support costs and save the environment and things like that. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and stay tuned for all of the other videos. There are going to be a lot, and they're going to ramp up in complexity in just a few days. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. Bye! See you soon!